Happy opening night eve, everyone. Happy opening night eve, because this is, of course, what we get. I had a feeling going into today because we kind of knew this for a bit now. We'd either hear about something with Igor Shesterkin or we won't. Never in my mind did I think we were going to hear about him rejecting a deal, because what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on Rangers Central, and as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, Igor Shesterkin has rejected an offer from the New York Rangers that would pay him $11 million per year, making him the highest paid goalie ever for 8 years. And he said no. He turned that offer down. Before we jump into everything, please be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. I don't know where to begin, because you guys know my stance on it. I've been strong about my opinions of this. I have always said $10 million the most for him, in my opinion. The most I would have gave him if I was Chris Drury, which I'm not, but the most I would be giving is $10 million. And I've got a lot of crap for it, I know, because people say he's the best goalie in the world, this, that. And I still feel that's very fair, considering Connor Hellebuyck, who has won multiple Vezinas, signed for less than that, considering Andrei Vasilevsky makes less than that and has won 2 Stanley Cups. UC Saros is, I don't want to say completely up to par, but he's around that range with Igor Shesterkin. Jeremy Swayman signed for an 8x8.25 recently. Ilya Sorokin's in that neighborhood as well. And I think, okay, I think $10 million is fair, because I don't view him as worth more than $3 million to those guys, or $4 million to those guys. And he wants to reset the goalie market. That's all we've heard about being the highest paid goalie. And this is where I'm frustrated, because the Rangers gave into his demands, offering him a contract that would have gave him what he wanted, making him the highest paid goalie and all that other stuff. And he still turned it down. At this point, if you're still defending what Igor's doing, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you, because at this point, I'm questioning what he wants, because does he not want to be here? Does he think he's going to get $12 million on the open market? Because I genuinely don't believe he will. Like, it's already lunacy that Chris Drury went this beyond, this out of the price range that he should be in, going this far to offer that much money and give into his demands. And you're telling me that somebody else is going to give you more money? I don't know if I see it, but I'm questioning what he wants at this point, because this is complete and utterly ridiculous in my opinion. And I'm sorry. And I love Igor Shesterkin. I might have to add a D to the end of love there, because I'm genuinely just frustrated with this. Because how are you sitting here and saying that you want to reset the goalie market, make the most money, and you're rejecting an offer that would do that? What is your want then? What is your goal? To be the highest paid player on the team? No. Sorry. No. And I believe this could just be speculation, but I think there's truth to this. And hear me out for a second. I tweeted about this as well. Chris Drury is extremely tight-lipped, and we talk about that all the time. And of course, the Truman News leaked, all that other stuff, but he's known to be a very tight-lipped GM. The fact that this even leaked tells me Chris Drury's pissed, because there is no way otherwise that this would have leaked, because of the fact that I just said, he is tight-lipped and all that other stuff. I do believe that Chris Drury is fed up with this as well, and thinks Igor Shesterkin is being ridiculous with his demands, that he decided, you know what, I'm going to let this leak, because this is just, I'm going to make Igor look like a complete ass of himself. And anytime that he makes a mistake, or anytime he lets in a soft goal, then everyone's just going to look at that and be pissed at him. I don't know if that's what the intent is or what. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but I do believe that there is some truth to the fact that Chris Drury let this leak intentionally to make Igor look bad for rejecting this deal, because this is just a stupid look on his part. Because you're telling me that he should be paid $4 million more than the guys that I mentioned. And I've gotten this debate on Twitter multiple times. I really just cannot see the other side of the argument, considering he has not won this team single-handedly a Stanley Cup, because everyone's like, he's the Rangers' best chance to win. But have they won? No, they have not won. And I don't think that warrants giving him a $12 million deal if he wins the Stanley Cup. If the Rangers win the Stanley Cup, he wins the Conn Smythe, and it is clear as daylight that the Rangers got carried because of him and win the Stanley Cup this year only because of him, then I'm open to a completely different conversation at that point, because at that point you've proved that you could carry the team, you've proved that you could single-handedly will this team to win a Stanley Cup. But for right now, today, on October 8th, 2024, no, there is no world where I could sit here and say he is worth $12 million. You cannot cap strap this team with just goaltending. You can't. This is the same goalie, by the way. And again, I do think Igor is the best goalie in the league. This doesn't change my view, but there is also the conversation to be had that there was a month and a half where he cooled off and he was benched for a 40-year-old Jonathan Quick. He was benched the year prior at points for Yaroslav Halak. He was benched at times for Alexander Georgiev. There were times that he was benched throughout his career for a reason. I mean, let's also not forget, how much they split time, him and Alexander Georgiev, in that 2021 season. And again, I'm not taking away from what he's done and what he is, because the playoff numbers are what they are and everything. I get it. But you can't sit here and tell me that he should be one of the highest paid players, not just goalies, one of the highest paid players in the league. I mean, I think that's just complete and utterly absurd. And it's absolute lunacy, in my opinion, that he even rejected this offer when the Rangers gave into his demands. I'm sure there was a no trade clause in there, because we know the Rangers love doing that. So they probably gave him trade protection they wanted, so he didn't have to worry about being moved out ever if the contract looked ugly or anything like that. And, the Rangers were in a situation where it became a Sergei Bobrovsky situation before he won the Cup, of course, because let's not forget, Bobrovsky was almost ran out of town in Florida. But with how volatile the goaltending position is, I've always stood on the fact that you could find a good enough goalie and build around that good enough goalie with the cap space that you'd be paying Igor Shesterkin. Now, I mean, all I've heard is that, the price will come down to 11. The price will come down to 10.5. Now we're sitting here and it's not the case. So who knows? Maybe this ends up being a Pete Alonso situation where he's pissing on his own leg and the price drops down. Who the hell knows? But all I know is this. I don't know how anyone could sit here and defend it unless you love Igor Shesterkin that much, to the point where you love him more than the New York Rangers itself. Then sure, fine, God bless you. But I can't sit here as a fan of the New York Rangers, not just a fan of Igor Shesterkin. I root for the logo on the front, not the name on the back. And sitting here right now, I cannot justify this lunacy from Igor Shesterkin. I am sorry if this hurts anyone's feelings, and I'm sorry if this pisses anyone off. I really don't care anymore, because this is just pure and utter garbage. I mean, this just is. I'm sure that I'm going to hear from other fan bases you're whining this and that. And again, I'm at a point where I just really don't care. The Rangers gave into his demands. The Rangers offered him a deal that would break the goalie market and make him still one of the highest paid players in the league. Forget about just the goaltending position. And he still turned it down. I don't know what his values are anymore. I don't. And this makes me, this rubs me the wrong way, honestly, with Igor himself. It really does. And he was my favorite player for a while on this team. Not that I really like to have, favorites. I like to look at every player equally, as, I cover the entire team here. But Igor was one guy that I always respected and loved because of what he's done for this team. But I look at this completely differently now, because they gave into his demands, and now it just feels like it's going to be awkward come opening night when Joe Tolzin's announcing him out of the tunnel, and then he skates out, and I obviously the crowd's not going to boo him, but it's going to be kind of like an awkward cheer now, I think, when he comes out of the tunnel, because man, this is insane. Cannot believe we're here right now. I don't know if any reporters are going to ask him about any of this at all, but the fact that he is asking for this much money is is insane in my opinion. I'm sorry, you. This is just ridiculous. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things I have to say in like other words. That's why I was trying to stall there, to be honest with you. But I don't know if I have anything. And again, I know this is gonna piss people off and hurt people's feelings because people love Igor, and I get it. I'm not saying you have to hate the guy. I'm not saying that you have to like my opinion. This is, you could have your opinion, I could have mine, but I just don't see, though. I just personally don't see how anyone that's a fan of the team itself could justify this much greediness from Igor himself. I don't know. That's just me, at least, because, again, they gave into his demands. But that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. I'm sure the comments will be very civil. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.